Hello and welcome to Gar1onriva's Bottom 5. Today I'm going to be talking about my bottom 5 Overwatch characters. As I said in the top 5 video, aside from the actual gameplay, all of the characters in Overwatch have lore, motivations, and all of that kind of thing, like their aesthetic. This bottom 5 will take all of these things into account, and remember that these are my personal opinions, so please don't tell me I'm wrong. If you haven't already, you can check out the top 5 list here. Number 5. McCree. Jesse McCree is his full name, and he was originally a member of a gun-running gang in America. An Overwatch sting brought the gang down, and he was given a chance to join due to his skills. He joined Blackwatch, which is the covert version of, or covert branch rather, of Overwatch, rather than going to prison, and he came to see it as a chance for redemption. However, when Reaper rebelled, he just left, and resurfaced later as a mercenary who fights for causes he believed to be just. I may have sort of rattled through that backstory quite quickly, but that's really all there is about him. There is not that much known about him, and what there is isn't very interesting to me. He just seems to have picked a look and just gone all for it, and that's about the extent of his personality. Although he did seem to embrace Overwatch as a chance to redeem himself, he didn't stay and sort of try and preserve this thing that turned his life around. He just like, oh, you're fighting amongst yourselves, I'm just going to go and cut off all contact. So he's just not a very compelling character. He does try to be polite, but, you know, actions and all that. He's alright in game. Not particularly special, not particularly awful. Number 4. Orisa. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? Zenyatta. His actual name is Tekatha Zenyatta, in the same way as Tekatha Mondata. And he is an Omnic monk from a monastery set up by Omnics, who believe that Omnics have souls. However, when the monastery began preaching on a global scale and became celebrities really, he left. He thought that empathy was a better method than dogmatic preaching. Dogmatic meaning this is the truth undeniably. So instead he wanders the world helping any he finds, like Genji. He also prefers his students to learn for themselves, like the morals of life. He's not a very good monk or a very good teacher. I mean, yes, sometimes the learn for yourself can work, but if you come across someone who is in like dire straits, you don't be like, right, okay, I'm just going to leave my wallet here. If you steal it, then, you know, hopefully you'll learn not to. That's just, yeah, that's an exaggerated example, but I don't like that kind of teaching. And as for being a monk, you know, it's like, if you're trying to change a world's opinion on something, you don't do it on a one-to-one basis. You do that after it's already established. Outside of debate, certainty is how you convince people of what is radical. In this case, that Omnics have souls. So if he'd left after they became celebrities in this sort of, we have convinced a large portion of the population, now we're sending you out to go and convince like the everyday man in a one-to-one, that would be better than just him being like, no, I think you're doing it wrong, I'm going to go and talk to solo people in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, he's still doing a good thing, but it just comes off as a sort of very poor way to do it. So in-game, he's barely a healer. He really can't, in my opinion, heal a whole team on his own. And Lester thinks he does too much damage, but I've sort of made my peace with it. He's a glass cannon. He's a combat healer. You don't take him if you want a dedicated healer. You take him if you want a very aggressive healer. Anyway, there's a bit of a large gap between this and the next one on the list, because overall, the Overwatch characters are pretty good. Anyway, here's the next one. Number 3. Hanzo. Full name Hanzo Shimada. He was trained to succeed his father in their criminal ninja clan. When his father did die, he did succeed to being the leader of the clan, and the other senior members of the clan tried to convince him to get Genji, his brother, to take a more active role instead of the playboy lifestyle he was enjoying. Hanzo tried to get Genji to conform to this standard, and Genji didn't go for it, so they had a fight, and Hanzo killed him. He didn't realise he didn't actually kill him, he just sort of left him mortally wounded, but I'll come back to that. After this, he left the clan in sorrow, and eventually encountered Genji years later in the Dragons animated short. You should go check it out. They had their encounter, and Genji basically told him that he has a second chance. That's pretty much all there is on Hanzo, not that much really, but enough to know that Hanzo is smug. Smug and proud. As in proud separately, not he's proud of being smug. He just doesn't seem to have much depth of character. It's like, I'm the best, I will prove I'm the best, and once I have, I'll sit there and be smug about it, you know, like a lot of players on Overwatch. And speaking of that, he just seems absolutely bloody lethal in everybody's hands but anybody I know. I don't know anyone who is a Hanzo main, and it's led like my group to have a joke that if you choose Hanzo, it automatically installs an aimbot on your computer that we seem to have opted out of. And it annoys me considerably whenever I see a Hanzo on attack. Snipers do not belong on attack, but of the snipers, Hanzo's probably the best because he can sort of move quite a lot while shooting. Number 2, Genji, the other Shimada brother. As I've already said, he was a playboy of a criminal ninja clan that his family led. Hanzo tried to make him work, Genji rejected this, they had a fight, and Genji was left severely injured. Overwatch saved him, and Mercy in particular kept him alive by building him a new body. In return, Genji agreed to help Overwatch dismantle the Shimada clan, which he did with a sort of single-minded determination. After this, after his job was done, he rejected his cyborg body, leaving Overwatch and wandering the world. He stumbled across Zenyatta's path and rejected him as well, before eventually accepting him and making peace with his sort of dual reality almost, as a human and a cyborg. I'll be honest, most of the reason I dislike Genji is because of his place in the game. Oh god, so many noobs pick him because he's inherently cool being a cyborg ninja, but he's really hard to play, particularly for new beginners. So they're always inevitably bad and sort of completely discount them on the team. And Genji on defense is just the worst. In one of my videos I tried doing a whole team of Genji on defense, and it did better than I thought it would, but it still did really badly. Not to mention he seems to throw shurikens with as much accuracy and bloody range as a sniper shot, and that's just ridiculous. But yeah, going back to the story, he just rejects everything. It's like, oh, do your duty to the clan. Nope. Hey, you have a nearly indestructible body. Nope. Hey, I can help you feel better about your nearly indestructible body. Nope. It's just... ugh. It's sort of a one-track personality. He doesn't seem to have much depth either, although in a different way to Hanzo's. Instead of being smug and proud, instead he's just pleasure and then work. I don't know, maybe I'm missing an important part of him, but I just can't get on board with Genji. And finally, number 1, Winston. He is a genetically altered gorilla who was raised on a lunar colony. He took his name from the lead scientist Harold Winston, but when the other gorillas revolted, Winston fled to Earth in a sort of cobbled together rocket. He joined Overwatch because they represented the best of humanity that he'd come to love from afar, and he also built Tracer's Chronal Accelerator and beat Doomfist at one point. When Overwatch fell, Winston went into seclusion and led to the Recall animated short that sort of started this all off again. The main thing with Winston is that he is a beast who is intelligent. You know, like Beast from X-Men. That seems to be about the extent of any kind of intelligence to do with him. Yeah, his backstory could be interesting, but is not because of him. He's just sort of there when it happens. The whole lunar colony, the sort of the intelligent apes they were genetically altering there, the things that led to that, the things that led to the rebellion. It's not really explored, but it's something that could be very interesting, and Winston just happens to be there. And in-game, I just bloody hate him. Maybe because I'm a D.Va main and his Tesla gun goes through my shields. Maybe it's because he just seems to drop in out of nowhere and fuck up my entire team and then bugger off again. I don't know. I just find him really, really irritating. And to be honest, I don't really understand the aesthetic they've gone for with him. Yeah, it's sort of a monkey in a spacesuit. Sorry, ape in a spacesuit. But why the weird wings? I guess they're sort of aiding his jump pack, but why do they have to look like wings? Or sort of little vestigial wings that don't really do anything? I don't know. I don't really like his design. I don't really like his playstyle. And I don't really like the fact that he's included in what could be a very interesting part of Overwatch lore. And that is about it. That's all of my ranting done for this one. Comment with your least favourite ones, and also comment suggestions for future top or bottom 5s. Remember that you can also vote for next month's top 5 by pledging to my Patreon linked in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you later.